It is a very sad day for Pakistan that today India has asserted its right to attack Pakistan in open defiance of regulations, conventions, and policies that have existed in the world for a very long time. This assertion of right is a dangerous assertion of right. I had been one of those few people to speak up years ago when American drones struck Pakistan, and I had said they will not stay within FATA, which they were claiming to be a disputed area, because FATA was purchased by the Indian Empire as an integral part of Pakistan. In fact, they did not stick to that area, and ultimately they attacked areas deep within Pakistan, and the worst example was where there was our premier military academy in Abbottabad. That area was also in a way attacked deep within our sovereign territory. A couple of things which arose from there was, how well prepared are we? It also emerged from there that there were serious gaps in our system which allowed something like this to humiliate and embarrass Pakistan internationally. And of course, the main thing that emerged from there was that we should have taken this up deeply and seriously, as I had recommended being in New York in the United Nations, that we must create a policy for drones that internationally the international community would support, especially those so many scores of nations who would face the same outrage. Nothing was done. I now come to this particular strike. One of the earlier things I had said over what was happening in Yemen and Syria and everywhere, Syria, of course, had gone far beyond any outrage. There is an open attempt to decimate the country into virtual nothingness. I am not supporting Bashar Assad. I'm not supporting anything. I'm talking of sovereignty of nations. I had also said at the UN that taking on Syria in the fashion that it had been taken on will result in multifarious divisions. Syria, until very recently, was a war-striven nation. They have been occupied at various times by Europeans, by Asians. And I said, going in the way that people have gone in, and also in Iraq, it would create, unfortunately, divisions that might not allow these countries to exist in the future. I have also stated absolutely clearly that any ambition of any nation on smaller neighbors with their might, wealth, and power has had effects. One of the effects that we have seen is the denial of the right of the Kashmiris and the invitation by the OIC to the Indian foreign minister, despite these actions in Kashmir, being invited to the OIC. I hope it is used for open debate in the OIC, which would mitigate the effect of calling the Indian foreign minister to at least an open public debate, as the world already is undergoing with the European Union and the Parliament in England, and even in the House of Representatives in Washington. So let us understand, we are definitely under some sort of a siege, and the results are manifesting itself. We cannot just brush it away. We should have been more open with the state. This should have been well broadcast. Even now, some people are saying, oh, Muzaffarabad was attacked, oh, Chakoti was attacked, Balakot was attacked. Well, let's get it absolutely clear that Balakot is an integral part of Pakistan. Their representatives sit in the National Assembly of Pakistan and Senate, and it is a clear known fact that this area, which is a tract between Mansehra and Batrasi, not so much Balakot, it's called Akhtar Shisha, and this place is a part of Pakistan territory. The other names could be dressing, or it could be Indian propaganda trying to muddle the issue. So the response might be, oh, we attacked a disputed territory. Well, the incident called the Balakot incident, which is not, it's near Balakot, it's between Mansehra and Batrasi, I repeat, is a part of Pakistan's integral sovereignty as part of its sovereign state. So let's first get it clear that why aren't the people being informed absolutely clearly what has happened? We had heard that Indian planes were mustering and flying recce's in the area adjoining our sovereign airspace. It should have been known they are going to strike, and they will use the excuse of going into a neutral or disputed property. Well, Balakot is not such. What are we going to do about it? I think we should have been doing a lot of things earlier. We've made very, very loud claims. The government has been on the air, belching fire. But it's now clear. Let's understand it has been done. And it's going to lead to somewhere. Or, like the drones, they will keep penetrating deeper and deeper. And with all sorts of other excuses, attacking airplanes or whatever would be used. Not a happy day for Pakistan, not a happy day for the subcontinent, not a happy day for hard-pressed people who have various problems. Kindly now bring out Plan A, Plan B, or Plan C, if they ever existed, on this issue. Why we were not ready for it? Why did we couldn't even bring down, we have tons of material. What was used, what was not used, has to be ascertained. And by going to the United Nations, they're going to use the excuse that we went for those areas who were attacking us. Well, did we not make our case well enough to say that this was in fact, in India, many people have spoken up. Farooq Abdullah spoke up that this has now become an indigenous activity in Kashmir. Number one. Number two, Donald Trump speaks of a fencing which will not allow people to come into the United States. But we have a fencing from the Arabian Sea to the Siachen Glacier. How can they blame us now for penetrating into their part of occupied Kashmir? A lot of questions to be asked, and especially about our readiness. Our policies, where have they attributed? The fact that a lot more needs to be done. I'm going to leave it at that. I have raised some pertinent issues. I hope we get some pertinent answers. I'm sad to hear that the National Assembly has not even met on this occasion. It should have been in session since this morning. It should have been, instead of just spewing fire and brimstone. It should have been discussing our lack of readiness in what we knew was inevitable. I remember when there was an attack on Kashmir in Ayub Khan's time. The then foreign minister had advised that they will not come across the international boundary, and they came for Lahore. Nothing happened. It was just swept under the carpet. Well, I hope it doesn't expand to that. I know the Indians are playing a bit of a careful, calculated game at this moment. When they said they attacked last time and punished Pakistan on something, the word punishment being used, we should have very strongly rebutted it and not allowed it to gain currency. This is what they're going to do again this time. And the world is heaving a sigh of relief from a nuclear winter, but there should have been other protections that should have been made available. Think Pakistan, we are not exactly doing what we ought to be doing, and just seeing so-called attempts to show that the people who are in charge are doing a fine job in the National Assembly and the Senate. Well, it certainly seems, to say the least, doubtful of what has emerged today. Thank you.